Good morning, friends. My name is Lauren. I am the owner of Shelton Athletics as well as Elevate Wellness Collective, as well as a longtime competitive athlete and now into the HYROX world and space. And today I want to talk about training plans and the flaws that exist with training plans. So I'm going to speak a little bit about my personal experience recently and then apply that to how that can connect with you, your training, and your workouts. So most recently, I've been training for HYROX Miami for women's pro doubles, which is coming up this weekend, Easter weekend. And leading up to training, I started with I believe it was a 12-week plan. So when it comes to most of my training, I do all of my own programming. I like to experiment on myself, again, as someone who's been 15 plus years in the health and fitness industry and training. I really like to use it as a tool to get better at programming for the athletes inside of our gym and all of the people coming into our space for HYROX. So developed the training plan, started about 12 weeks ago. And, through that, been, ending ski season, which is a high priority for me during winter to really enjoy that sport and time. Dealt with some injuries through that time, kind of tweaked my ACL a little bit one weekend, and then had a pretty bad ankle sprain over the past 4 weeks. So I built this training plan 12 weeks ago, or probably more than that at this point. I built this training plan 16 weeks ago. And when I built that training plan, it was built under the most optimal circumstances. Like, okay, if everything goes perfectly, this is the way that my training will look over the next 16 weeks. However, that perfect scenario did not happen. So again, like I said, during that time, there were various other life obligations, activities, injuries that occurred within that time that did not allow me to train exactly to specificity in that exact training plan. So now, fast forward, we're less than a week out. So we compete on Saturday this week. And over this past week, I was in Phoenix, meeting with my gym owner mentorship group. And over that week, my sleep was absolutely terrible. I don't know if it was just the time change, stress, training load from the previous week, could have been all of those things. And I was just not sleeping well. So I got in some decent workouts while I was there. But now that my taper or kind of reduction in volume and intensity leading into this race really started last week after my Wednesday workout. That was my last intense workout prior to race day this coming Saturday. So with that, looking back on this past week, given all of these factors, low recovery. So meaning I'm in a sleep deficit. I would say I did fairly decent with nutrition in terms of getting in an adequate amount of calories, macronutrients for my goals and what I'm doing right now. Stress load, somewhat high, travel, again, kind of high brain activity. So going into this week, I was like, okay, there's kind of like a big caution sign in front of me that was like, Lauren, if you don't treat this week with care, really, and make it a point to recover, sleep well, and kind of just take that overall stress load down, this could be really problematic leading into race week. And, you could go in feeling run down, sick, etc. So why I say all of this is that when we are doing a training plan, whether that's something that you got online within a gym or something that you've written for yourself. Hopefully it wasn't that, unless you're highly experienced in doing that. A training plan is only as good as you feel. And what I mean by that is a training plan is written under best case scenario. You're always feeling awesome. Nothing is going to get in your way from doing those things. However, the flaw in that is that if we try to follow a training plan to that level of precision and we don't take into account what is going on in our lives and how we feel. So this is really where, expertise from a coach can really help dial in a training plan, because training plans are trash unless you are in tune with how to adjust them based on how you feel given life's stressors outside of the gym and that training plan. So when you are planning for your next race or just working on any goals inside the gym, you need to be able to take into account what is going on in the outside that may affect how I feel in training. So just because it says it's a testing day, it might not be the right day for it to be a testing day. Or if the level of intensity in a certain workout is supposed to be high, but you haven't gotten any sleep, your nutrition was really bad, your kids were keeping you up the night before, whatever it was, we need to be able to make those smart adjustments to be able to continue training and still be able to peak when we want to peak. So something to keep in mind for your next training block, whether you're training, in a functional fitness gym and you're working on peaking for different phases of, life or competition with that, or if you're doing a HYROX and you're planning out towards a race date, running a half marathon, whatever it is, know that a training plan is only as good as you feel, and being able to make those adjustments is going to be crucial to your overall success with that training plan and leading into that race or whatever you're looking to accomplish.